welcome everyone. Here is a little video about what I feel is false invasions. And I got a hold of this on just a wiki, a list of invasions, and it pretty much, present day, all the way back. What I was looking for was 1800s to 1900s, pretty much. It seemed really interesting that a lot of these countries were having invasions, and then they would get gobbled up, and naturally we can go back to any of these countries, and we can find traces of an ancient people. And if we're dealing with the northern hemisphere, oftentimes it's a very similar people. In the case of the Tartarians, which seem to have disappeared off of most modern maps completely, there's really no mention of them in history books, and yet the Tartarians actually ruled the northern hemisphere, and a lot of these buildings that we're seeing around the world and that we claim to have been built by our people are actually seemingly old Tartarian ruins. Now, just Vietnam, for example. I mean, we could just have a look at ruins in Vietnam. And, I think about all of the wars that we've had, and what was the real purpose? This is a great example. I mean, in Vietnam, we still really don't know. There was, if anything, historians tell us it was a false flag. The Gulf of Tonkin, there was a supposed bombing of a ship, which never really happened, and the whole war continued and continued. And for what? You don't think somebody would have realized that at a certain point and said, you know what, let's back off of this war? But no. And I think that it had something more to do with perhaps either the wiping out of remaining people, remaining older people, or their antiquities, or their buildings, and perhaps their technologies, and things that wouldn't fit in the new control paradigm that was being set up. So this list of invasions was really, really fascinating. And wars that I never even knew happened. And in any case, I think it's definitely worth a study. What really led me to this in recent times, although I'd had thought of this before, it was this article on Russian bombers wiping out ISIS targets in the ancient city of Palmyra. And, I'd seen this picture before and was just absolutely in love with it, and had wondered, where is this place? I didn't think that it was in Greece, and I was just really blown away by this picture. And yet finally I found it. Finally I found where this picture is, in Syria now, in this ancient city of Palmyra, only to find out that it's being bombed by Russians, because they believe there's ISIS. Now, if you look in the background here, it's just, in any case, whether this was bombed in recent times doesn't matter, because to me it appears like it's been bombed a long time ago. Not so long ago, but long enough. I don't think this just weathered this way. And I don't think an earthquake would just shake this apart. No, I mean, when you look at the scattering and how it scatters for, many hundreds of feet around, all around in the background here, this is not an earthquake or something natural. I mean, I don't even know what kind of force it would have taken. So the excuse, if you read this article, Russia says it's wiped out Islamic targets. In any case, you can go and read the article, but it was a very benign reason for bombing this ancient city, and it really seems to me like, there was a bunker, there was a bunker with some Al-Qaeda members inside, and so they had to, just drop, several dozen bombs all over this city, and to me, this just fits right into, I think ancient wars may have had more to do with the destroying of the actual people, being the Tartarians, but not just the Tartarians. I mean, there were races all over the world, and very, very advanced ones, and how they were able to be infiltrated by what I believe is a more primitive people is beyond me. It seems as if maybe there was a collusion, perhaps, and of course I'm just speculating, but one of their own maybe betrays them and offers. Who knows? You know how this story goes, but. In any case, I just thought this would be a quick share on this beautiful city of Palmyra, and I hope it is still around to see one day. I don't know how much was actually destroyed in the Russian bombing, but again, I'd like to make a proper video on this, but at the same time, I didn't want to lose my train of thought, and I'm just so happy I discovered where this city actually was, not in Greece, but in Syria. So that's it for now. Have a blessed day.